Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm excited to introduce you to Adam Ryhan, who's currently interning at Remax Connections. I'm also very excited about the topic he's going to be just demonstrating today. It's how Google can improve and simplify your business. Google has some really valuable tools that he'll talk about today. Just a little bit about Adam. He's, like I said, currently interning at Remax Connection, so you'll probably see his face around the office. He's a third-year marketing major at Cal State San Marcos. He's worked as a server at the Cheesecake Factory for 3 years and also helps run his parents' deli. His hobbies include web design, stocks, and sports. And with that being said, I will let Adam take it from here. So welcome, Adam.
Well, thank you guys for having me first off, and thank you so much for being here. As you said, my name is Adam, and today I will be presenting to you why it's in your best interest to use the Google platform. With all of you being such very busy agents, I can only assume most of you go by the phrase, time is money. I can also assume, since you're so busy, that certain days your workload might be twice as big as the day before. And as much as you'd love to complete all those tasks, you just don't have the time to do so, unfortunately. However, that's exactly where I come in, folks. I will be presenting the Google tools that will help you save yourself some more time and in return, get through a lot more work within your day. Now, with all of you, not only will the Google tools and apps ensure you never lose any files, data, or email again, folks, you will always stay on top of your schedule, whether that be a work event or work meeting, you will never miss those again. And additionally, you will now have access at absolutely any place, anytime, anywhere, through any of your devices to all of your emails, files, and data you upload to Google. Now, I know some of you may be saying, wow, that sounds terrific. And I know others of you are saying, well, my current system works. Why should I change it? And yes, your current system may work, and kudos to you. However, I want to ask you something. With the current evolution in technology today, the amount of tools and services provided to absolutely everybody online has skyrocketed our standards of how business should be run. For example, I want you guys to think back 7 years ago about the last online order you purchased, whether it was on the phone through a Google ad or a TV ad, my apologies, or it was through a website ad. Whatever it was, when you put that order 7 years ago, your expectations were that that product would arrive between 2 weeks to 1 month, because that was the standard back then. That was okay, and we settled with that. However, we've modernized ourselves 7 years into the future. Now that Amazon's in the picture, the last product you purchased, if you could not receive that between 1 to 4 business day, folks, you would most likely look for the exact same product on Amazon, but by a different supplier. Now, why am I telling you this? The reason I'm telling you this is I want you to ask yourselves, when is the last time you modernized your tools and services you provide to any of your clients? With the competition growing more challenging each day, with the amount of real estate agents growing, your clients know that they have a line of real estate agents outside the door waiting for them to sell their home. Now, what's going to make you stand outside of the competition? I know some of you may be thinking right now, how am I going to stay in contention with the competition? Well, I'll tell you exactly how. Today, I will be showing you the Google tools and apps that will ensure you are meeting all of your clients' expectations, as well as enhance your work technique in the future. With that, let's get right into it, folks. On today's agenda, I have 4 main categories we're going to be going over today that I see most beneficial towards your work technique. The first one being Google Mail. Now, Google Mail, I'm going to show you how you can organize your email as well as your schedule in the exact same place. And additionally, I will be showing you all the bonus apps Google Mail offers that other emails and services you may use do not. Next, we will dive straight into Google Drive, and we will be exploring the 4 main apps they have to offer that will help you save yourself so much more time and in return make your life a lot easier. Next, we will then dive straight into your Google extensions. And what's amazing about Google extensions are these are little add-ons to your Chrome browser that make your life so much easier with little shortcuts that are created by the public, such as ourselves, and not even by Google. Finally, I will be going over Google Sync, which makes Google what it is. Basically, Google Sync makes all of your apps, all of your emails, and all of your data all connect in one place, which is just very handy when you're working throughout your day. To start off, I want you guys to see this average outdated email. Now, this is your basic early 2000s email. It has your 4 basic pillars. The first one being your contacts. Who's the email from, right? Then you have your subject line, which is never ending, so you never know what's about to be in your email. On the left side, you have the option to use folders, which half the people don't even use them. And for the people that do, you can't even color scheme within them. So it just becomes a black hole for all of your emails to never be seen again. Now, the 4th pillar is the most important, in my opinion, on these outdated emails. And that is the Hulu ads on the right side of your screen. Now, I don't know about most of you, but the Kardashians are on Hulu, as you can see. This is your average outdated email, folks. And I know some of you may be arguing, yes, this does get the job done. And I will agree with you, it does. However, just because the job is done, does that mean that's the best way you can do it? I don't want to answer that question for you. I'll let you answer that yourselves through today's presentation. Now, this is what you could have in an email. This is a modernized email, folks. This is a Google Mail, AKA a Gmail. As you can see, we've got a beautiful inbox with our contacts and ending subject lines, so we can actually read what's going to be in our email. On the left side, you see I have these beautiful color schemed labels, which replace folders. And as you can see in my inbox, any of the specific email I put into those labels, it will now have that little bubble saying bills, subscriptions, eBay, so that when you open your inbox, it's organized and ready for you. Now, I know some of you may say this is unfortunate, but yes, they did replace our Hulu ads on the right side with a very efficient calendar for you to use every day. Now, what does Google Mail have to offer that other emails don't? Let me show you. We've already went over our 4 basic pillars, the contacts, those are exactly the same. We saw differences in our subjects by being able to read the end of it. We saw that we've jumped from folders to now color schemed labels, which can help you organize to that top level you're looking for. And additionally, one of the biggest changes is you don't have those ads or promotions that keep distracting from your work. It is meant for you to just look in your inbox, and that is for you to do your work. However, you also have now a calendar that is synced to all of your devices. So if you created an alarm on your laptop during your calendar and you went to your phone, you will see it exactly in there as well. It is synced to every device you have logged into your Google account. Additionally, you now have access to Google Meets, which is basically a virtual meeting app that is a lot better than Zoom. I'll be going over why that is later. You have Google Translate available. So if you ever have that language barrier, whether you're working with a client, you're speaking with friends and family, whatever it is, you have that tool in your pocket now, so you can always communicate the way you need to. Additionally, as I said before, the color organization is huge, folks. Organization, keeping all your files in one place, and specific files and labels, and having it colored really just does help you organize. It makes your work way more approachable, and in return, just more efficient. And I know you guys see these going on the right side. Google is just so amazing that I couldn't fit all the benefits on the left side. We have to move to the right side now. As you see, we have our Google Mail extensions, folks. And what these are, again, these are little extensions on your browser you add that are created by the public, such as people such as yourselves. And those are just little solutions to problems you may have, whatever those are. We'll be getting into those. And the best part about Google Mail, folks, is you have access to every single Google app completely free. It's huge. It's free. They're the most modernized apps. And I'm going to show you why this is going to help you out. When I look at that list and I think out of all of these tools, what is going to be most helpful for you folks? The first thing that comes to my mind is going to be Google Meets. As said before, this is a virtual meeting app. However, you have to remember the audiences you guys are catering to, such as generations much older than me, they are not as tech savvy as someone you could say in my generation. So with that, we really want to label the amount of digital work we put them through, whether that's creating an account, getting confirmation emails. We don't want them to get frustrated and then leave. We want our clients to get a link, connect with us, and be in the meeting where we're supposed to be. And that's exactly what Google Meets does, folks. As you can see, when you open it, you have 3 very basic options on the bottom left. It says set up a meeting for later, set up an instant meeting. And my favorite one that you guys are going to be utilizing the most is schedule on Google Calendars. Now, why do I say this is going to be your best friend? Let me show you, folks. Once you say schedule in Google Calendar, not only do you get to create a calendar event that will be in your calendar, but you get to add the link for the meeting as well as a little description about what the meeting is going to be for. And you can tag your client's email right there on the right side where you see guests, and it will show up on their calendar now. So now we get to eliminate the excuses of I forgot or them flaking on you, because this is right in their face on their calendar in the email they open every day. And this is why Google Meets is really better than Zoom. Is You want to make sure you and your clients are on the same page at all times. It's the most important part about our job. And with this just is one factor of many that helps narrow down the confusion between you and your client. Moving on, additionally, you have that amazing calendar you saw on the right side of your Google Mail. This calendar is very, very detailed with your title, the time of the date. Again, you can add friends, which it will then be sent to their calendar. And if they accept, it will be on their calendar. So you're all on the same page. You can add a location. You can add a Google Meeting conference link. And additionally, you can color code it, folks. So let's say it's a vacation, you want to keep it blue on your calendar, or an upcoming meeting is very important, so you have it red as urgent. You have that level of organization where you can do as you please, folks. It's there for you. Moving on to our Google Drive. Now, Google Drive is where things start happening. This is where you're going to see a lot more increase in your work efficiency when using these apps. Starting off, I love free stuff, and I bet every single one of you do too. And that's why when you create a Google account, first thing you get is 15 free gigabytes of any data you want. So for example, if you want to upload photos that are backed up online, 15 free gigabytes for that. If you want your contracts, if you want your video conferences, whatever it is, presentations, you have 15 gigabytes of your choice to back up anything online. And in return, you'll have access at any device in any place to all of that information. Additionally, Google Drive is like the dashboard for all of your Google apps. And I'll be showing you the main screen of Google Drive, but anything that's shared with you, any Google documents you've created, or anything you've started as important on your computer, it will show up in the dashboard. And finally, the best part about Google Drive is the 4 main apps that are going to help you excel your work to a whole nother level. To show you the Google Drive main screen, this is what we're looking at. Again, folks, it's going to show you all of the files you have right here in the middle. And then on this left side, you have My Drive, which is going to be shown on all your devices. Again, this is just online backed up data you have access to. It has My Computers, which basically, if you're on a computer, you can pull up the rest of your files. And then Shared With Me is a huge part, folks. Any documents that your clients or coworkers share with you will always be under that tab. And all you got to do is search up their email, and any possible files or presentations or whatever you worked on with them, it will all be there, neat and organized and ready for you. And on top of that, if you're working on any really important documents and you don't want it to get buried in all the clutter, folks, you can star it just like you would star an email, and it will stay at the top until you're done and you can unstar it yourself. So now we talked about Google Drive in the main screen. Let's move on to our 4 apps, starting with Google Docs. Now, Google Docs, folks, is amazing. Google Docs is just like Word and other note-taking documents. However, Google has personally modernized themselves the best, making it top-notch. And let me show you why. To start off, never worry about your computer crashing, dying, losing Wi-Fi, whatever the case is, any emergency happens, your work is backed up every second. So if I typed just a letter on the document, or if I typed 2,500 words on a document, it will always be saved every second. As soon as I put a letter, image, picture on there, it is saved, folks. No more worrying about crashes, no more worrying about losing data. It's always backed up and Google has your back. Additionally, you have 500 plus texts and fonts to choose from. And why this might be helpful, I know some of you may be saying that seems excessive. Think about when you're speaking to your clients, you want to make sure that whatever you're sending is as welcoming as possible to their eyes. So if you see that they have a specific font and text size when they send emails, you can copy that, put it in your Google Doc, find out what font and text size they use. And in return, when you communicate, you will just stand out from all your competition now because you're using the same font and the same text size as your client. Additionally, you will now be able to work on the same document with all of your clients or coworkers. Instead of these email chains that are 50 emails long, sending in the same PDF back and forth, folks, why not just have one document that's always active that you can edit at any time and show any people? I mean, this is just absolutely changing. No more email chains, no more lost data, as I said before, it's all right here. And the best part, I know some of you are thinking, well, what if someone joins my Google Doc and they might delete stuff? You have the option when you add someone, if you want them to edit the document, if you want them to only view the document, or if you want them to have other privileges. Again, it is your choice. You have all the control, and that's what makes Google Docs Google Docs. And just a live example, as you can see, it's just like a normal note-taking thing. You've got your file, edit, insert, your format, your tools, anything you'd need to take notes. However, this is where it gets really spicy, folks. Right here, you see extensions. Next to the top left, you got tools and help in between there. These extensions are what's going to really make your time more valuable, because these will do things that you couldn't do in the past, such as formats. I know all of you have to do contracts or whatever type of paperwork, right? We are paperless now and we're online, but why not take it to the next step? You don't even have to create your formats anymore. As you can see here, this is an add-on called Templates for Docs, folks. This template lets you choose if you need a brochure, if you need letters, a resume, whatever type of format you're looking for, folks, they have it pre-made here for you. And you have thousands of options to choose from. So save yourself the time. Look for a new modernized look that your clients will actually be able to read and will look comfortable in their eyes and not just a bunch of lettering on a paper. Modernize your work, folks. Moving on to the next app, we've got Google Sheets. Now, Google Sheets is just like Excel. However, as I said before, Google has really modernized their tools to make sure they're as work-friendly for you as possible. And that starts off with backing up your work. Now, losing an essay or any type of paperwork is really annoying. But losing an Excel sheet when you did all that tedious math and calculating and graph making, and now it's all gone, that is just horrible. And we don't want that ever again. So that's why with Google Sheets, your work is backed up every single second, folks, and it's very important to make sure you never lose your data. Additionally, you have 1,000 plus rows to work with. That is, I mean, if you need to convey the point to your employer, to your clients, whoever you're working with, folks, you have 1,000 plus rows to do as much data as you need. And on top of that, within a file, you can have as many sheets as you want. So really, the work amount is unlimited for you. It's up to you, and the tools are there for you. Moving on, just like Google Docs, Google is all about cohesive teamwork, whether that's with your coworkers or employees or coworkers, so that we have multiple users on one sheet, which is very huge. Again, you just can have multiple people, whether you want them to only view, whether you want them to edit, folks, they're there to help you just in case you need that. And finally, you can use extension add-ons. And just to show you guys an example here, we've got our Google extension sheet. And basically you can keep track of all of your work. Right here is a Google add-on, folks. This is Power Tools. Basically what this does is, I know many of you using Excel sheets, you'll have those annoying duplicate numbers that ruin the whole web sheet. You want to combine or merge these columns, but they just don't do so. And with this add-on, instead of looking up every time what you need and how to do it, this add-on makes it nice and simple for you. Anything you need to merge and combine, split, clear, whatever it is, this add-on just basically says, skip all the hard work. Here's the essentials you need, do your work. And again, this is what makes Google so amazing, is you have these tools available to save yourself time. Moving on to the third app, which is, in my opinion, very underrated and should be used a lot more, is your Google Forms, folks. Now, Google Forms is very different from the other two, because this one is all about acquiring information from your clients. With Google Forms, you can set up surveys and questionnaires. So whether you just finished a transaction and you want some amazing feedback and rate your service so you can improve your next one, or if you're looking for how many bedrooms they want in a house, you create these custom template forms and you can send it mass out to as many emails as you want, and it collects all the data for you. And I'll be showing you a live form. But additionally, you can use up to 5 different styles of answers, whether that be multiple choice, short answers, long answers, insert photos, whatever you want from your client, you can obtain using this tool. Also, as I said before, all the data is not just going to be scattered all around your computer. It is all held within the app Google Forms. You just type in an email, as I'll show you later, and it will pop up everything that that client has answered for you. So whether it's the feedback you're trying to recap on, whether you're trying to see what type of house they're looking for, folks, you have that information and it will always be there for you, nice and organized, not taking up space either. Finally, I know here at Remax, you guys love to do these presentations and add fun games at the end, like bingo and other stuff. And to keep stuff fun with your clients, you can create quizzes or little fun trivia games, whether that be with your employees, your clients, whoever that is, folks. You can create quizzes and just kind of lighten up the mood. Those tools are there for you as well. Now here's a live Google form, folks. Just so you can see, this one I made is like feedback. So let's say you just finished a transaction. You have a short answer as the first question. You've got a long answer if you want more in-depth answers to improve your feedback. And then a rating, you know, how did they rate your service? Was it great? Was it not so great? Really use these tools to recap on your services, folks, so that you can be the best client you can be, or the best agent you can be. With that, let's move right into the last app, which is my personal favorite, and I've been using this whole time to present to you guys, which is Google Slides. Google Slides, folks, is absolutely amazing. It's like any other presentation app, except, as I said before, Google has modernized it to make it easy for you to use. With over 200 editing options, as you see, I make it very easy for you guys to read by having these additive animations Google allows. And you can see my words come in one by one, so I'm not overfilling the screen. This is very important for your clients. If you're presenting to them and your slides have a million words on them, folks, they're going to get lost within the first 5 minutes, uninterested, and may not work with you. So make sure you're really using advantage of all these options so that you can deliver the message you're trying to, because you know you've got it in you. You've gotten this far, folks. You can talk. Now, presentation skills, that comes in key too, and that's where Google Slides comes in. Additionally, like all the other apps, Google is round circle. You have custom add-ons. So if there's a certain problem you're facing, it is most likely an add-on you can find to help you save time. Whether that's different animations you're looking for, different text or fonts, formats, whatever you need, folks. Again, that store has thousands on thousands on thousands of solutions. And I'll show you how to get to that store after. And finally, with your presentation, folks, you're going to be talking to your clients. This is a very important tool. You want to make sure you can share with your boss or coworkers so that they can watch you do a practice one and kind of tell you what you need to improve on. And a big thing about that is being able to share the document so they can see it firsthand and make sure you're not having any errors in there. With that, I'm not going to give you a live example because this whole presentation is. We're going to move right on to the Chrome Web Store, folks. And this is our Google extensions. Now, I've been really drilling these in every single slide you've seen. I've been talking about these extensions. Folks, really go to this web store and look for anything you need, whether it's a grammar checking app, whether it's an ad blocker, whether it's a screen recorder. There is thousands of free apps that can save you money and save you time and get the job done so much more efficiently. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me show you some examples. One I use on the everyday, day-to-day basis is going to be Grammarly. Grammarly is basically a grammar check-in app that catches all the errors that Word, Google Doc, and all your other editing apps could never catch. So let's say you have a comma out of place. Grammarly will catch that where your other editing apps won't. And again, this is really important because with technology being so modernized and all of your clients most likely having Grammarly on their extensions, you don't want them to see errors that you couldn't. That already puts a little bit of a bad dispel on yourself. So with that, download Grammarly. It's completely free, folks, and it's just a grammar check. It makes sure all of your documents are as clean and organized as they're meant to be, and you get the right message across that you're trying to achieve. Additionally, another amazing add-on, folks, is going to be an ad blocker. Come on, don't tell me you've ever been searching the web and you've never had those annoying ads, whether it be on YouTube, whether you're on a website and you've got to now fill in your email for no reason. Whatever the case may be, these are free extensions where you can download an ad blocker and never see an ad again in your life, folks. I mean, it's absolutely game-changing. Sure, it might be only 30 seconds per ad, but think about how many ads you look at per day, folks, and then count that up. That's maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes to save time, and that's work you could be doing in that time. Finally, my personal favorite one, other than Grammarly, is going to be Vimeo, which is a screen recording. You have 2 hours of free screen recording data, folks. I know most apps that you even pay for, you might get 30 minutes on end, you might get 20 minutes. This is free to use, folks, and you have 2 hours of recording tactics. And basically with this, you have 3 options when you record your screen. You can just record the screen, you can record your face and the screen, folks, or you can do just your face. So whatever message you're trying to get across, you have the right recording tools to help you and boost you. Now, with all of that being said, all of these Google extensions, again, just like everything else in Google, are synced to all of your devices. So once you set up that Google extension, you only have to do it one time, and it's on every computer you sign into now. It'll be on every phone you log into. Whatever the case is, your documents are synced, folks. With that, let's move into the best part, which is Google Sync. This is what makes Google Google, folks. I know a lot of you have thought about this and you're like, well, my tools can do this, my tools can do that. But the biggest thing is none of your tools whatsoever can connect all of your apps, data, and emails in one spot. And that's what Google can do. Now you can have access to your emails from Google Mail. You can add documents from Google Docs. You can do presentation from Google Slides. Whatever the case may be, you can access any of your files, data, or information on absolutely any device, folks, because that's the power of Google Sync. So never, ever not have your information with you again. No matter where you are, Google will have your back and you will have access anytime, any place, in anywhere. So with that, folks, I hope these Google tips and tricks have helped you. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to do a Q&A right now and answer any unsolved questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adam. That was amazing.
Well, thank you so
Lots
much.
of very good information. We do have a question in the chat from Dennis, and he's wondering, for Google Meets, what if the client does not have a Google Calendar?
So what's really cool about Google is they've been doing this whole phase where they can work with other apps. So with your Apple Calendar, I will have to get back to you and email you. But I believe even if they don't have a Google Calendar, it will still send them an email and it will keep that email on top once they accept it. And it will just it will be a reminder. So whether they have an Outlook email or any other type of service, it still does send them that email on the top. So they are being notified of the meeting. So although it might not be on their calendar, it will still be right in front of their face and it will notify them.
Thanks,
I hope
Adam.
that answers your question.
Libby wants to know, sorry about that. Libby wants to know, is there a problem using all these on an Apple or a Mac?
So I'm actually doing this whole thing on Mac. I've had this Mac now for a year, folks, and it is actually amazing because it works. All you got to do is download the Google Chrome browser, and from there you can have access to your Google Drive. And as I said in the presentation, once you have your Google Drive, that's the dashboard to all of your Google things. So it will save perfectly. All the tools will work how they should. You do not just have to have a Windows computer. This works just as good on Mac and Apple, folks.
Perfect. Does anyone else have any questions? No more questions in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask them now. Also, I'll ask Adam if he could please write your contact information in the chat. That way you can contact him directly if you have any questions.
Adam.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Do you do any trainings on this?
So this is my first presentation here because I'm so blessed to be an
You did
intern
well,
at the best company.
really well.
So I will be starting trainings. I'm going to leave my information, and please, any of you amazing folks, I'm here to help you so we can set up a one-on-one meeting so I can make sure I can answer all of your questions and make sure we're on the same board. So I'm going to leave my phone number and email. If you want to send me a text or an email, we'll set up an individual one-on-one meeting and we can kind of go in depth and figure out all the other details after. Does that sound great with you?
Sure. Thank you.
I think a lot of people will be interested in that. I have Tracy in the chat also would want to schedule a one-on-one with you, Adam. So you're going to be in high demand.
Again, the biggest thing that I want to convey about using Google is really you have all of your apps and tools connected, and that's the biggest part. When it comes to work, no more using paper. Like that's the biggest thing. Paperless is the way to go now, especially with your clients. They've been working with other people and other businesses. They know everything is touchless now, such as, think about credit cards. When you're paying at a grocery store, you just scan your thing on top now. Like we are modernizing as a population. And if you guys can't keep up with that, yes, your work techniques, I'm not saying won't work. They might work great. But I'm saying you can really enhance your work technique to make sure you're staying with that modernization. Everyone else is holding their standards too. Because think about it. Anytime you ask anyone, hey, what is this? They'll say, Google it. Because everyone's so comfortable with Google. Google is its own empire right now. And most likely your client is going to be using Google. So when you're using these apps like Zoom or Microsoft Teams, they've got to create these unnecessary accounts. And this is just more work for them. And as you guys know, as agents, that's our last thing we want. We want less work for them so that they're more satisfied. They recommend you to their friends and you get more business in return. So that's the biggest thing I want to convey about using Google.
I went ahead and put your email address and phone number in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're using an email outside of Gmail, would you recommend creating a Gmail and have all the Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever email transferred over? And would that work the same as if it was created through Gmail?
So I personally recommend you just create a new Gmail And for this specific reason, because when you're transferring over your other email, if it's possible, I was looking into that and I saw there were specific ways you could transition it. But you're going to have maybe files be lost just because you're switching from app to app like it's not supposed to. And I don't want you guys to lose any of those emails or important, any important data necessarily, you could say. So what I did when I switched to Google was I just created a brand new Google account, and anything important from my last email, I just forwarded over to my Google Mail, if that makes sense. And then from future on, I told all of my clients or whoever it was, hey, I will be using this Gmail now. And if they're still emailing your other thing, you can always just forward it to. And I believe there's actually a Google add-on extension where if they send an email to your old email, it will automatically send it to your new email. Your Google
I do
Mail.
think that's possible, yes.
So yeah, I would personally recommend creating a completely new account just so you can start fresh. You can organize how you would like. When you forward stuff over, those custom labels I showed you, you really get to organize to a whole new level. And I just don't want an over barrage of all your other emails kind of destroying that organization, if that makes sense.
Thank
know,
you.
Adam, to tag onto that, a lot of our clients use our Remax emails. So to be Libby Soleil Remax.net. So those are forwarded to my Gmail
Yes.
automatically. I mean, not the whole world isn't using that. It's just often I give that to clients instead because it's the Remax.
Yeah. So again, you can have your emails forwarded as Miss Libby is saying here. I'm saying overall for maintaining, because the biggest part about Google is just the organization, right? So you can have add-ons or such as her email where it forwards it to Google. But again, you want to make, you got to create that Google account first, right? Did we create a Google account as well, Libby?
Oh yeah, I've had a Google account. for
Yeah.
a long
So
time.
you do initially have to create that Google account in order for your emails to start transitioning. You can't just.
Do already. I mean,
Yeah.
they all come in. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
But as long as I can use all these things. with
Yeah, no, you
somebody
can
who
use them perfectly.
Came over from the Remax email was the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thanks.
I hope I answered all your questions.
You
guys.
did.
Cool, cool. Is there any other questions by chance, folks? All righty. Well, again, thank you guys so much. This was my first presentation for the amazing
done.
company Remax.
You did
I'm so
great.
excited to be an intern here, guys. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank
Good
you.
job, Adam.
Well done. Good job.
Thanks
Thank
for all
you.
the
Good
information.
Good job, Adam.
Absolutely, folks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you around.
Yeah.